everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on the 1979 film Alien. Now, as you know, Alien is a science fiction horror film that was directed by Ridley Scott and written by Dan O'Bannon. Now, yeah, Ridley Scott is also known for doing the Alien prequels, which were Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and was also responsible for kickstarting the Alien film series, which had 4 films, an Alien vs. Predator film spin-off, and 2 prequels. So the premise of the film is meant to follow Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, and her crewmates journeying on their spaceship, the Nostromo, which is returning to Earth. We see how they get a distress signal and land on an alien-like moon. And as soon as they head out, they kind of see that from the planet, there's an alien ship. And as soon as they enter it, one of the crew members, Kane, ends up getting a face hugger caught onto his face. And we kind of see how, despite Ripley's protests about bringing Kane back on board, we see how the other crewmates try to desperately get Kane back in, and you know this is going to come with repercussions. And at first, everything seems fine, but until something that comes out of Kane's chest, this leaves Ripley, also Weaver, Carlo, and some of the others to try and deal with this sort of new alien threat. And I think what the message of the film is going for is that space is good, but I think the message is be careful what you journey through onward, as sometimes there are dangers that you won't be able to stop. And I think what makes the characters work is, I think when you've got Captain Dallas, you can tell wants to try and keep things under control, but I think is too blindsided to listen. And also, when you do have Ash, there is also more truth about him. And I would say the point of Ripley is meant to be the voice of reason, and at the same time, we do see how they have to deal with the xenomorph. And I know in the sort of director's cut, you actually do get to see the xenomorph early on when it goes for Brett. I think what the original version gets right at is building up to what the alien is going to be. And the point of building up a threat, you want to take time in showing your heroes dealing with a threat that they haven't seen before. And really, the film is basically dealing with something that was beyond their control. And I think, surprising enough, I think, in my opinion, I think what Ridley Scott got right at with the first film is not going with a Commando-like story, but something in a realistic setting, showing how, yeah, sometimes you might bring something dangerous and kind of not knowing what it's capable of, and sometimes you can open up a Pandora's box that can be dangerous. And I think what's interesting is, when you kind of got the game Alien Isolation, they actually do make Ripley's daughter the main character, and trying to make it an actual in-between film from the first film and the second film. Which, in my opinion, Alien Isolation is definitely worthy of being a game that goes back to its first film roots. And I think, in my opinion, yeah, I do think Aliens did start off a cultural phenomenon, as we've seen it referenced so many times by The Simpsons, Family Guy, also Shrek 2, Bob's Burgers, and so many things. And I think Alien actually takes time with you to kind of see how, over the course of the film, we see how Ripley and the team get picked off one by one, and leaving the message that Ripley is going to be the sole survivor, and dealing with future threats that she knows that she'll be prepared for when the time comes. So I think the film definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.